Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to our weekly PACE meeting. Coach, welcome back. Great week for Nixa baseball. We were 2-0, which you can't ask for any more than that. Two really strong games. One game against a really good 4A championship team that we really didn't know a whole lot about. But I thought the boys really stepped up. Our starter pitching was solid all the way through 7 innings. So just a little bit of the stats, folks, that I wanted to cover before we start talking about, the aspect of the game and how we and how Coach coached through that. The Kenyan Indians came in. Eagles won 8-2. We had 14 hits, which is a great kickoff. It was a great start. We had 6 walks. And here's the coolest stat. We had 12 steals, Coach. I think we were talking to one of the other parents from the other team, and I think they alluded to that they hadn't had 12 steals against them all year last year. So they had a really good catcher, but we stepped it up. The boys, stepped it up, moved bag to bag. It was exciting. So I think it would be great for the folks out there to know is talk me through that pregame conversation. We didn't know a whole lot about Kennett. They had played Carthage earlier that day. I believe they had lost earlier that day, so they wanted to pick up another game. It was kind of a late ad. So tell us a little bit about, the pre-conversations that you had with the players before that game kicked off.
Yeah, so to start, we want to appreciate, make sure we let Kennett know we appreciate them and playing, because we had an unfortunate thing happen with our schedule Friday night with the game getting canceled, and talked with him Friday night, and he's like, we'll play if we find a place to play. And we worked all day Saturday getting our field ready and ended up having it ready to go. And he agreed to come down and play us, which was awesome because they were in town. Didn't know a whole lot about them except that they were defending 4A state champs. And so we knew they were going to come in ready to play. We knew they were going to have a lot of good players. We didn't know a whole lot about them. We knew they had a couple good returning players that we've heard of before. But we knew that we were going to have to bring it. I knew that our guys would have incredible energy because it's opening day. And so I knew that our guys would be ready to go. But, before the game, we just talked about how we want to play. And that's, we want to get on base. We want to pressure the baseball. We want to pressure the defense when we get on base and run. I thought our guys did an incredible job of learning throughout the game on how we were getting pitched and what pitches we should run in and what counts we should run in. And then ultimately just trusting themselves and trusting themselves enough to know that, hey, yeah, I might get thrown out. But something great might happen too if I steal second and then steal third. And, so that's kind of been our thing is like, yeah, you got to first, but your job is to get to home. So let's figure out how quick we can get there.
Yeah, that's great. Always planning ahead, always trying to get to the next bag as soon as possible. And that creates, like we said, can create some errors for the other team, which is, the whole goal that we want to do. So tell me, what was your speech to the players, or what was your communication with the players after the game? Great win. Everybody's spirits were up. We were finally getting to play baseball. So what did you guys talk about after the game? Because there's always things to work on.
For
right?
Sure. Yeah, I thought from a coaching standpoint, I thought that all of our players did an awesome job. We had so many quality team at bats. Our approaches were really good at the plate all night. We played great defense, and most importantly for us, we pitched really well on the mound. Every guy that came in attacked the strike zone early in the count, kept their hitters off balance. We did a really good job of keeping guys off base in front of their best hitter, who still got a couple, doubles, I think, but we kept guys off base in front of him, and that's what you got to do with good hitters is minimize the damage that you allow them to have. So after the game, we just talked about a lot of the things that we saw, a lot of things that we learned, things that we need to continue to work on. But I think guys understand that when we play the way that we want to play, we're going to be tough, and it's also a fun type of baseball to play. And so, with that being said, too, the crowd was incredible. I mean, we had an awesome turnout. We had a great crowd, people cheering. On a Saturday night, it was a lot of fun to be out here.
Oh yeah, the sun was great. As it was setting, we're still out on the ball field. It's a picturesque place, right? Yeah. Because you can see the sun setting. The weather was great. The crowd was cheering, and from from our standpoint, it is right. You're right. It is fun baseball to watch, yep. And super exciting. So, So take that game, and then Monday we played the Hillcrest Hornets at Hillcrest. Barely got that game in. We're dealing with weather this time of year. So tell me about, we beat the Hornets 15-0 in 3. Tell me about how you go from a game like a Kennett game, and then what was your conversations after the game against Hillcrest when there was such a wide spread there?
So we've always tried to do a good job as a coaching staff of getting our guys to understand that we want to play the game against the baseball. Like, we're trying to play the baseball and beat the baseball. And if we do that, we focus more on us and who we are and how we want to play the game, and less about who we're playing. And so then we don't have those high games when you're high and low games when you're low. And, we want to make sure that we focus on doing what we do, and that's attack the baseball at the plate, attack on the bases, and play great defense and communicate, and attack the strike zone on the mound. And so we try to get our guys to understand that we're playing against the baseball. We're not necessarily focused on who we're playing as a team, because we found that it kind of helps us be more even keel on the field. And so I thought we did a really good job of that. We made a little bit, a couple of mistakes on the bases, base running mistakes that we need to clean up. But that's one of those games, too, that sometimes when it gets out of hand early, guys tend to lose a little focus or become lackluster. And I thought we did a really good job, though, of staying locked in. We got some more guys in the game. Some guys came off the bench, which is always tough to do. And when the rain's coming down, and we got several guys come in the game and get hits late in the game. But I don't know the stats or stolen bases, but I know we had quite a few in the first couple innings, again, pressure. And so I was pleased with our guys. Anytime you get a win, it's a good win. And so...
No, that's good. No, I agree. And so after a win like that, what do you tell your guys? And it may be the simple fact that you go back to we play against the baseball, and I love that. That's great. So what do you tell your players after a win, after a specific win like that, to keep them level set? And like I said, it may be that, hey, let's just go play against the baseball. So what do you tell your guys after a win like that?
Yeah, we just try to get them to focus on moving on. Honestly, like, that game's over. We gotta figure out what happened in that game, what we did well. Again, we really, Parker Bridges was awesome on the mound, which was really good for us to see. And so he attacked the strike zone early and often, and played great defense and made several good plays behind him. And so we try to focus on a lot of the positive things that we did, that we want to continue to build off of. Bring up the things that we need to work on, and show them how we can continue to work on those and get better at those. But then it's like, hey, move on. Like, it's time to get back to work on the next day of practice, and we've done that this week so far.
Good. And of course, we've got Hardy Dugan here. We're going to talk to Hardy coming up in the next segment. Kind of get his ideas about where his game is, and where his head is. So speak to just a little bit, to go back to the Kennett game, speak to a little bit about what you told Hardy, the conversations you had of him between innings, because you never rest, right?
Yep.
You're always staying warm in the dugout and trying to go out, when you go out to the next. So talk to us a little bit about the conversations that you had with Hardy, as he was, hey, it's our first out, it's our first battle, we don't know these guys. Tell me a little bit about that.
I thought that Hardy did a really good job of staying composed with everything. He wants to throw hard like everybody, but Hardy's really good when he pitches, and isn't worried as much about velocity. I thought he did a really good job of that in this game. He stayed all around the zone the entire game, kept their hitters off balance. He did a really good job of learning from every at-bat. Their leadoff hitter got a hit his first time in the first inning, and then I'm pretty sure we kept him off the bases and kept him off balance the rest of the game. And so, but we did that with a lot of their hitters, and I thought Hardy and Jack behind the plate did a good job calling the game, and them working together did a really good job learning every at-bat. And so it's also tough as a pitcher and as a team. Like our third inning, I think it was, we scored 6 runs, and it was a really long inning. And so I think Hardy did a good job of staying loose. As a pitcher, you want to get in rhythm, and you want to continue to go and get on. And that's what we talk to our pitchers a lot about, is like tempo. Like, get on the mound, get the ball back from the catcher, get on the mound, get your sign, throw the next pitch, boom, keep going. And in a long inning, sometimes that's really hard to do. And so he went down to the pen and played some catch a little bit between those innings to stay loose and stay fresh. But ultimately, he could have kept going, deeper into the game. But we wanted to see what some other guys, could do coming out of the bullpen, and see what we had there too. And those guys did the exact same thing. Came right off the bench, came right into the bullpen, and threw strikes competitively, and got Keith Pietmeyer in at the end of the game, which was really good to see him, coming off the basketball run to get right out there. And Was a little concerned after the first pitch he threw that bounced halfway to home. But right after that, I think he threw 6 more pitches and got 3 outs, and he was lights out. So we were really happy with our pitching performance.
Good. And I think everybody was.
Yeah.
So you alluded to this a little earlier, just the amount of people that were here.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit. We've made some modifications to the field, and hopefully going to make some more modifications, hopefully as the year goes along. But we've made some modifications. So talk to us a little bit about the modifications that we have made that will help us house more people.
Yeah.
Because everybody knows that atmosphere creates the atmosphere on the field when you have a good presence in the stands. So talk to us a little bit about the modifications to the field that we've made to allow us to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Our guys feed off that energy, and you could tell when the crowd was getting loud, our dugout was loud, and guys were going crazy, and that's fun. We envision like the Friday night lights thing with night games and lights on and fans everywhere standing, sitting, yelling. And so we wanted to create an atmosphere here that would allow for that. And so we took a lot of the wood fencing down past both dugouts and made it chain link so that people could stand down there, put lawn chairs down there. We're going to hopefully eventually put some picnic tables down there. And so we created a lot of room down there. We also did that past our bullpen down the first baseline to hopefully someday turn that into an alumni area with the pavilion and a barbecue grill out there. We'd really like to do that. And so, and now we're working on seating. We're hoping to get some more bleachers, some elevated bleachers that we can put in behind the current chair backs on the first base side that go up, so we can get hopefully 250 more people in to come watch our guys, yell for our guys. And we're also working on, because parking is an issue, and so we've got some plans to shuttle people back and forth from the junior high with some golf carts and some other stuff like that. And so, we want to make it a great place for people to come watch. But then you got to make it presentable. You got to have places for them to sit. You got to have ways for them to get over here so they don't have to walk a mile to get to the game. And so we're trying to create a lot of that stuff.
Good. Yeah, so the modifications, I think it's great. You can see the field from all angles now.
Yeah.
There's no blind spots, which is great for us as spectators. So, hey, folks, coming up, we're going to have Hardy Dugan come in. But first, we want to, and Coach, thank you for spending time with us. Good luck this week. We're going to talk with Coach Nimmo here in just a little bit about their schedule coming up and the games that we've got. Got a lot of baseball coming up here in the next 4 days.
A lot of good baseball.
A lot of really good baseball. So we're all excited about that. But, folks, before we do that, coming up, we're going to have Hardy Dugan, starting pitcher for the Kennett Indians game, and talk about, pick Hardy's brain about where he is and kind of what he does and what he likes to do pregame and things of that nature. But before we do that, we're going to go to a commercial and like to thank one of our sponsors, Air Services All Service, for being one of our great sponsors here at Eagle Nation and Eagle Baseball. We'll be right back with Hardy Dugan.
Mr. Callahan, what's your favorite day?
Friday?
Favorite time?
Morning. Why?
Well, Air Services offers online bookings so you can schedule around your favorite time.
That's a great option.
Now you can choose what works best with your schedule. No waiting, no operators, no canned music.
Please make it stop.
And with online booking, you don't have to talk with anyone.
I'm liking this more and more.
Call Air Services today.
Hey folks, we are back. Again, thank you to one of our great sponsors, and we've got quite a few sponsors this year. And by the way, we'll be representing some of those sponsors as the games go on. So we've got first pitch sponsors, we've got first inning sponsors all the way through 7 innings. So really excited about that this year. But I'm super excited to have our starting pitcher for the Kennett Indians game, Hardy Dugan. Now, Hardy, I'm going to go over a few of our stats here. So you threw 4 innings, and you're a left-handed thrower. So you threw 4 innings. You gave up 1 run on 5 hits and only had 1 walk. But you had 6 strikeouts. So you had 6 Ks. And to me, I don't know about you, but that's a really good out. And that's a really good first out. So congratulations on those stats and all of that. So what I wanted to, and I think what everyone likes to hear and what everyone wants to know is, Tell us a little bit about how you mentally prepare for a game like Kennett. We knew very little about them. We had never played them before. We knew that they were 4A state champs last year, and we knew that they had some big-time commits in their roster, especially hitters. And we knew that their first 5, they were really deep and really good hitters and can really protect the zone. So tell us a little bit about how you mentally prepare for a game like that and a game like Kennett.
I just looked up on YouTube and Perfect Game, just their top hitters and what they did. I saw what they were rated, what they did well, what they didn't do well, and talked to Jack a lot before the game and Coach Nimmo and Coach Hughes about what they thought and how to attack them. And I learned as the game went on how they are actually, how they progressed throughout the year and stuff like that. But
no, I think that's great. And Coach Hughes just alluded to this, that you do better when you pitch rather than get up there and just try to throw. So tell us a little bit about what does that mean to you when you're on the mound. Yeah, everybody wants to get up there and throw hard, but when you get up there and pitch, those are two different things. So tell us a little bit about your mindset beside those.
Last year I didn't have the greatest year, but I was trying to hit the corners, do this, do that, try to do too much. And this year I'm just like, all right, puts up a spot, don't think about it, just throw it there. Just as little as I can think, just chuck the ball.
Well, good. And 6 strikeouts, I think you were successful, and I think you settled in nicely. Opening game, you're the starting pitcher. Nerves were out there for sure, but I thought you and Jack worked really, really well together. Jack being the catcher, I thought you guys worked really, really well together, Jack Edwards, and I thought you guys did a great job. So tell me this, how does your mindset change when you walk onto the mound? Okay, so you come in on the 3rd inning. I think like Coach Hughes said, we got 6 runs that 3rd inning. You come in the 4th inning. The score is 6-1. How do you mentally how does your mindset change when you come in with a big lead like that compared to going in? And we were down 1-0 going in the 2nd inning.
I'm willing more to take a risk on pitches. Like, say I wanted to throw pitch in the dirt, but there's a guy on 3rd. Well, that run doesn't mean as much now. Now I can work on that and do that and not have to worry about the score as much.
Good. And then when you guys go out, do you and Jack talk? When you come in between innings, do you and Jack or whoever the catchers, do you guys communicate and say, hey, look, this is working, this is not working? Hey, we've got a good lead. Umpire may widen his own a little bit. Do you guys? What are some of those conversations like?
It's more about what I'm feeling. Like, I think there was a couple changeups I just wasn't feeling. I was like, let's not throw that as much now. I'm not really feeling that, but it's just more of what we saw, what we thought, and how we could work on that and get better.
Good. And with baseball guys, that's the beauty of it is, let's say your breaking ball's breaking a little lower than you wanted it that day. You can communicate, and with a good catcher like we have, with we've got a bunch of good catchers this year, but with Jack does a really good job of keeping the ball in front of him. And like you said, it makes it really nice for a pitcher. When you feel like you can miss, and your catcher is going to be there for you. So another thing that we wanted to know is they had some really good hitters. We knew that, like we talked about earlier, we knew that they had committed to some really good schools and to some really good colleges. So how do you adjust to the tendencies of the hitters as you see them come back through the lineup?
Like the first batter that came up, a second pitch, he took one off. Hit my spot and everything. It was just took it over there. So I'm like, well, you hit outside. Let's just go inside with the same pitch because I like that. And Jarrett made a really good play and saved my butt, and it worked out.
No, that's great. Yeah, Jared made a great play at first base and had a few of those. The last thing that we wanted to ask you is it's game day. What do you do differently, or do you do anything differently on game day that you would not do if let's say you weren't starting? So you started on Thursday, so you'll probably throw either Wednesday or Thursday next week, or you may throw this weekend. But what do you do differently on game days?
I'm really talkative during practice, but on game days I'm kind of like, just let me do my thing, let me alone, let me focus up, and that, and I eat a little less. I want to feel light, and that's really about it. Not a whole lot less. They're different.
Any favorite superstitions you have? Same pair of socks, same undershirt, anything like that?
I got a wristband I got from football that I wear on my ankle whenever I pitch. I don't know why, I just do.
Hey, it's baseball, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, that's great. Well, Hardy, thank you. Good luck the rest of this year. We're super excited. We're super excited for where you're going. Being a left-handed thrower is it's just exciting within itself. And then to see you come out on opening day and do what you did against a really good team. I think people underestimate that, and I don't want to do that because Kennett was a really good team. And you did a really good job at learning tendencies and really working through that order. And like you said, adjusting to what maybe the first guy did, going oppo and then coming on this. I think that's great. And I think that shows maturity as a thrower. So congratulations, and I wish you the best the rest of the year. We're going to be there to watch it. So congratulations and good luck the rest of the year. Folks, we're going to take another break. We'd like to thank another one of our great sponsors, Wise Guys Printing. So actually, Wise Guys Printing will sponsor one of our innings during our home games, but they also sponsor our Tuesday Athlete of the Week. So thank you to Wise Guys Printing. Here's a little more information about Wise Guys Printing, and we'll be right back with Coach Nimmo.
Mr. Callahan, did I see you on Air Service's Twitter account?
I'm not really a Twitterer.
You don't tweet? Hashtag quick fun? Hashtag happy clients?
No hashtags.
Hashtag why not?
It's a pound sign, a number symbol,
When was it ever called that?
forever.
You mean hashtag pound sign forever?
I'm not doing it.
Hashtag stubborn boss.
Hashtag stop it.
See? Now you're talking.
Hashtag not funny.
Call Air Services today.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I've got with me, super excited to have Coach Troy Nimmo here. Coach, welcome to Eagle Nation. I know you're super excited about this year. You're super excited about your role here at Nixa High School. And we wanted to get to know you a little better. So tell us about your past, where you came from, and how that has prepared you, to be an Eagle here at Nixa High School.
Well, I won't go back too far because I'm old. You might not want to hear all that, but to make it quick, I grew up in this conference, the old COC conference back when Bolivar and Rogersville, Marshfield was in it, but I grew up in Buffalo, Missouri, on a farm, and all I did was play sports and milk cows. So I learned what hard work was a long time ago. Fortunately in high school I played football, basketball, baseball, and got some offers to go play baseball, and chose to go to College of the Ozarks out of high school, and that's where my passion of baseball continued to grow, and played 4 years there and loved it, and from there I decided I wanted to stay involved in that, and that's why I decided to become a coach and a teacher, and so I met my wife there as well. She was an athlete, and did my student teaching down in Branson once I was done with my career, and I asked my college coach. It was in the winter of my senior year, and I'd ask him. I said, "Hey, coach, best advice you can give me going into this profession? What do I need to do?" And he said, "Get with the best in your business, close your mouth, follow them, and do everything they do. Don't give in input, even if they ask, because they probably really don't want to hear it. Just follow them around." And I said, "Well, who's the best?" And he said, "Steve Lale at Branson and Steve Hancock. They're two of the best around." Luckily, I knew both of them, and so I went to them and I met with them, and so I could student teach and volunteer for coaching under them, and luckily I had somebody fooled, and they liked me, and I got a job there. So I was at Branson for a long time as a football coach, assistant football and assistant baseball, and a head baseball there, both roles. So filling both roles in baseball and being a football coach as well, I know what both sides of what Coach Hughes is having to deal with because I've dealt with it. And that's kind of why I came here, because I coached Coach Hughes in high school. He's a Branson kid. So I coached him in football and in baseball, and our state teams that early 2000s, 99, and his brother as well. So I know his philosophy. We've stayed in contact over the years, even when he was in Michigan. And then we moved back to Drury. I would have him down and help me with little kids camps at Branson and put on clinics for my high school kids. And so we've stayed in contact. And when this position come open here at Nixa late last year, and he had called me beforehand, kind of knew it was going to happen. And he'd coached a long time, but never at high school. And, you know, he'd always been an assistant wherever he was at in college. And college and high school is two different things. The game doesn't change, but there's a lot of things underlying that people don't know about. And he said, I know you're close to retirement, but would you be interested in coming be my head assistant and kind of helping me through some of this stuff that I might not know? Being in this conference a long time and coaching against Nixa, I know the talent level here, and kind of the old saying, if you can't beat them, join them. And that's when I decided, hey, what a great opportunity. You know, my son lives up this way. My daughter goes to school at Evangel, plays volleyball. My sister, my niece all live in Nixa, so I got a lot of family up here, and it just felt like the right thing to do to come this way.
Well, we're super happy to have you, and what a great segue into the next question I was going to ask you. So I know that you and Coach Hughes knew each other way before this, and he played under you, like you said. So tell me a little bit about how your philosophy and Coach Hughes' philosophy gelled together to make, you know, a successful coaching staff. Because, you know, everybody likes to win, and we're going to win a bunch of games. There's going to be some tough games, and we may lose some games, right? But with the philosophy that you guys have, tell me how you guys get along, and tell me a little bit of how your philosophies mesh together to be successful.
First and foremost, and we both are strong about this, we want kids of character. They're going to be good in the community, they're going to be good in the classroom, they're going to be good in the field. And if they can't do those things, we don't want them to be a part and represent Nixa baseball. And we are both very strong about that. So I think that's probably the biggest part, because if we can have kids of that character, we're going to get things accomplished on the field that we want. And philosophy-wise, baseball-wise, you know, Logan was probably Coach Hughes. I have a difficult time with that sometimes. Got to call him Coach, but I used to call him Logan. But you know, he was probably one of the best players to come out of Branson. By far, one of the best hitters. So, you know, he likes to swing it a lot. I like to bunt, but if you don't have to bunt, let's don't bunt. You know, and we've got a lot of guys on this team that can swing it. So let's go ahead and swing it. Not that I'm against that, but our philosophy is the same. We want to play fast. Because it's baseball. I don't care if it's college baseball, it's Major League Baseball. You know, look how the Royals did it a few years ago. They did it with speed and putting the ball in play. And you're going to make mistakes a lot of times. When you put the ball in play, you're putting pressure on the defense. A lot of good things are going to happen. Are we going to run ourselves out sometimes? Yeah, we will. The other night I sent home Grant. I don't know if you remember or not. Ball, second baseman dove. I saw him diving. I told him he was full head of steam. We're up already. I was like, I'm going to send him because that kid's going to be surprised that we stand up. And it was a bang play. And sometimes that's going to happen. Sometimes we're going to get out, but more often than not, that kid's going to pop up, throw it to the backstop, or short hop the catcher, and we're going to be safe. So our philosophy is like that. Let's put pressure on them. Sometimes it may take us out of an inning, but more often than not, it's going to be a positive outcome.
No, and that's super exciting. And those are some things we talked about with Coach Hughes last week was just the pace of the game, right?
Yeah.
And how the pace of the game can cause errors for the other team, whoever we're playing. So no, that's great, and I love all that, especially the word of character about each one of our players, because we all know that you know, as they move up in life, it's going to be acting more and more of them.
Yep.
So let's talk about that. You said you were at Branson, were there for 20-some years. So let's talk about, you know, every organization has a different culture, and that culture, you know, tends to come from the top. So tell me a little bit about the cultural differences between what you had in Branson compared to you know, your short time here at Nixa so far.
Well, we're trying to do a lot of the same things because Coach Hughes and I, we sit down and make a lot of decisions together. He doesn't just come out, hey, here's what we're doing. He confides in me quite a bit. So we're trying to do a lot of things here to create a culture we want, having a master's jacket winner, which will be coming out later, and players of the game, and trying to bring the kids up and be excited about us. We're trying to do those type of things that we did when I was at Branson, that same type of culture. A big difference is the availability the kids have here. They're close to Cy Sports. They're close to the Nat House, Marucci House, whatever you want to call it now. Seems like it changes names all the time. So a lot of the kids here in this area take advantage of that because it's 5 minutes away. They can go over there and get a hitting lesson or a pitching lesson, or might have a speed coach or a strength coach, and it's not that accessible in Branson because there's not all of that. I mean, we had a nice indoor facility, but there wasn't the accessibility of all the other people to maybe give a different lesson. And I see that a lot in these kids. When it amazes me, we moved here, my family did, and it amazes me when school is out. There'll be 500 junior high kids walking home. I mean, I've never been in a district where they're riding bikes and walking home. But most of them go to the rec center or they go to the park, and they're doing 5-on-5, 3-on-3, playing football, basketball, you name it. And you don't see that at Branson near as much. We have all the neighborhood communities here, and kids are playing pickup games, and it's so fun to see that in a town. And the kids know, if I'm not doing that, it's highly competitive at Nixa, I might not make the team. So that's a big difference.
Yeah, no, that drive that is produced by competitiveness, right? Yeah. And we talk a lot. There's just no way to replicate competing, other than just playing that game. So, well, let's move on to the schedule. Got a lot of baseball, like we said, coming up here in the next 4 days. A lot of good baseball. So Thursday night, Rogersville, starting at 4:30. It will be a varsity and a JV game. So real quick, tell us a little bit about. We saw them in the Jamboree. Mm-hmm. Okay, tell us a little bit about what that's going to be like. Game situation when the game does count, and the game's on the line. Tell us a little bit about Rogersville.
Well, I've known Coach Little forever. He was at Ozark under Mike Essick for many years. We've been friends for a long time, and he's going to have his kids prepared. They're going to be fundamentally sound. His kids are going to battle at the plate. He has that old school mentality. Find a way to get on base, get up on the box, get hit. I don't care what you do. Find a way. A lot of times, I know Coach Little early on. We've played him forever. He's going to juggle things around just to look at some different things, and doesn't really bother him if he wins or loses early on because he wants to find what's going to gel for him. And he will be prepared for us this next time around. I'll guarantee you. He's going to come to battle. I don't know who he's going to throw. I don't know if he will change the lineup, but he is a great coach, and his kids are going to be ready.
Good. And I think that's something that you bring to the team, is that you've known these guys for so long. You know the way they like to coach, and I think that makes a big difference. So Friday night, Rockbridge here at home. It's a 2 o'clock start because Rockbridge has got to get back home. It is a JV and a varsity game, varsity first and JV. So we may not know a whole lot about them, but what do we know about Rockbridge so far?
I know the coaches. I mean, we've never played them a lot up that way. Played some Kansas City schools in Kansas, but never got to play them a lot. But I do know the coaches, and our next games coming up are all storied programs. They're top 25 in the state every year. All those guys they have a lot of kids to pick from too. They're huge schools. When you're dealing with some of the larger schools in the state of Missouri, you're going to have a lot to pick from, and you're going to be able to find some athletes, and they're prominent type areas. So you got a lot of middle class or above type families. So you're going to have some kids who put some time into sports because they can financially. So they're all going to be good programs, but our goal here is to win a state championship and a sectional and a conference championship. That's what we want to do, nothing less. And if we fall short of that, we're going to be disappointed. And in order to do that, we've got to play those teams.
Exactly.
We've got to play. We're the biggest classification in the state, so we've got to play the best to see where we're at. And we might take some lumps. Who knows? We may take some lumps in the schedule that we've created, but hopefully it's going to prepare us for May. of we won't be shied to see a kid throwing 93, 94 miles an hour. We won't be intimidated. They've got 3 Division I kids. Who cares? Whatever. We've got good players too. So we've got to be able to see that every day. So when we do come up against that, the butterflies are gone, and we're ready to play ball.
No, I think that's great. Again, Rockbridge here at home. Make sure you come out 2 o'clock Friday afternoon. Saturday, we'll talk about Saturday. 2 really big games. We've got Rockhurst. We're going to be at Lee Summit. So we got Rockhurst and at 2 o'clock. At 1 o'clock on Saturday, and then we got Lee Summit at 4 o'clock. So speak quickly about the Rockhurst and Lee Summit teams.
Another 2 really good teams. We've got to be prepared. I don't know what they're going to have as far as they've got some pitching. I do know that. I don't have a spray chart or scouting report on them, but I've got a buddy of mine up that way that's working on some of that. So I'm hoping before then that I can get a few things on them, at least have an idea. And spray charts are only as good as who is on the mound. It can be a big difference. They had a soft throwing lefty, and the next game it was a righty. Of course, the spray chart's going to be different. So you only take so much of that, but it makes you feel a little bit better to have an idea of what you can maybe do to them. And so I'm hoping to have something on that in the next couple of days so we can get a better feel. But I know they're both very good programs. I've played Lee Summit in the summertime and travel tournaments, and they're always well coached and a lot of athletes. So it's going to be a good week.
Perfect. Well, and the state rankings just came out today, and 3 of the next 4 teams that we're playing are all in those state rankings.
That's great.
Great. I think that's great. And like you said, the butterflies, hopefully, if we're going to have butterflies, let's have them now, then in district sectionals, and then in state play. Let's get it out of the way and get it over with. Well, Coach, thank you so much. I can't tell you how excited we are to have you here at Eagle Nation and Nixa High School. Good luck this week. Safe travels. I know, getting the boys up and getting everybody to, Lee Summit. So safe travels. Good luck this week. I hope you guys play great. I hope the kids have fun. I hope we learn a lot. I really do, and I think we will. And again, thank you for your expertise, and be willing to come to Nixa and help us out this year. With Coach Hughes. So thank you. Good luck this week. Folks, thank you again for joining us here in our PACE weekly meetings. We'll have another one next week, talk about the games from this weekend, talk about the games from tomorrow night and Friday, kind of analyze some of those pitchers and hopefully bring one of those pitchers in, kind of like we did with Hardy Dugan today, and talk to them about their philosophy and the way they like to approach game days in between innings and things of that nature. So again, thank you to our great sponsors. Folks, come out 2 o'clock on Friday night here, Nixa High School. We've got Rockbridge. Rogersville is tomorrow night at 4:30 at Rogersville, a game time, and they will start right at 4:30. So make sure you're there. If you're not doing anything this weekend, hey, travel with us to Lee Summit and watch some of those games. But thank you so much. Thank you for supporting Nixa Baseball and Eagle Nation, and we will see you next week.